Today I'm going to be talking about hearing. In the English language we have two words. We have hearing and we have listening. When you're hearing, the words can be going in one ear and coming out the other. You're not necessarily listening to what somebody else is saying. But when you listen, you're paying attention and you're processing what they're saying. But notice none of these words have anything to do with doing something. Then we look at the Hebrew word, Shema. And we know that if you Shema, then you know you Shema because you obey what somebody else is saying to you. Now I want to take a look at the book Jeremiah. In Jeremiah, God gives Jeremiah a message. Jeremiah practices Shema by going to the Judeans and telling them what God has told him. But the Judeans don't want to listen to him. So much so that in Jeremiah 32 verse 33 it says, "They turned their backs and not their faces. Though I taught them again and again, they would not respond or listen to discipline. They heard me, they knew it was me, and they understood me, yet they didn't obey me." Psalms 115 verse 6 reiterates this point by saying, "They have ears but cannot hear, noses but cannot smell," which is basically saying the same thing, which is they hear me and they do not obey. Throughout the Bible, I see a common theme of people not obeying what God says. I think that we can learn from this. We can practice Shema, obeying what we hear. And James 1:22 through 25 gives us a perfect example of that. It says, "Don't just listen to the word. You fool yourselves if you do that. You must do what it says. Suppose someone listens to the word but doesn't do what it says. Then they're like a person who looks at their face at the mirror. After looking at themselves, they leave, and right away they forget what they look like. But suppose someone takes a good look at the perfect law that gives freedom, and they keep looking at it. Suppose they don't forget what they've heard, but they do what the law says. Then this person will be blessed in what they do." This is a perfect example of how to Shema. I'm not saying this is easy. It's pretty hard, in fact. But when you read, you can practice making an action plan or an action step. For an example, in Jeremiah, I noticed that the Judeans procrastinated a lot. And I procrastinated a lot. So for that week, I practiced not procrastinating. That made my household and my family's life easier and better. This isn't just a one-week thing. When you Shema, you try to practice it every single week. And you don't just need to do one thing. You can do all sorts of things, all sorts of practices to make your life better. So, what I want you to get from this message is to practice Shema. Hear what God says and obey it.